three of those white men should be all collectively condemning it.
Yeah.
Not the
No, that's
presenter
what I
saying,
say.
what do you think, Simon Jordan?
No,
Do you think this is racist?
but
The way that-
that's what I was saying.
Going on, people, it's your boy B Yaks, and welcome to another episode of Flight on the Wall Perspective.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's me, Sharon.
So, we're going to talk about football today and racism in English football. Last week, on the 7th, the England national team lost 1-0 to Iceland, which was a friendly, and certain players have been getting scapegoated. When I say certain players, certain black players. Specifically, Bukayo Saka, who is a footballer for Arsenal Football Club, for those who don't know. And he also plays for England. And he's definitely one of England's best players and arguably Arsenal's best footballer. So, since that defeat, and it's worth mentioning that Saka only played 25 minutes of the match, and he's been demonized, all across different tabloid newspapers. So it's got people talking about, again, racism in football and how we move forward from these kind of, incidents when they happen. Because it's happened to us, Bukayo Saka before in the Euros, and everybody got behind him after that. Again, there's an argument of, it's people on social media trolling. It's a small minority who are doing it. It's not representation of majority of English players, or English people, sorry, I should say. Which is fair enough, but there's definitely more to it than just that. So
Seems to be a recurring theme.
Exactly. So, yeah, nothing new, but we have to delve into these kind of things, as uncomfortable as it might be for certain people. But I think the only way you kind of like get anything positive from these kind of situations is by dialogue. You have to talk about it, and pretending like it doesn't happen doesn't help, from my point of view. So, yes, we're going to play a Talk Sport video. Talk Sport is a big football platform, well known, and ex-professional footballers and current professional footballers and commentators go on this platform all the time. So, and there's someone called Simon Jordan there who used to used to own Crystal Palace Football Club. Mm-hmm. A very opinionated person, to say the least. Mm-hmm. And they have an ambassador of Show Racism, the Red Card, on this episode as well. And so, yeah, we're going to...
Without further ado, let's listen and watch.
Show Racism, the Red Card's ambassador, Richard Offiong, joins us live. Richard, good morning to you. What was your take on it when you looked at the post-match coverage and you saw the images specifically of Saka?
Morning, thank you for having me on. I was quite surprised that, like you said, Saka seemed to be front and centre where he played 25 minutes and... he wasn't, it wasn't a great performance by all the team. So to have him front and centre, it was surprising, but also not surprising because this has happened in the past as well. So, and there's reasons why.
He's saying it's surprising, but not surprising. It's happened in the past. I don't like language like
And this
that.
is why it still carries on, because people don't know what they want to say. So they need to just say one thing. Say it was outrageous. They're saying it was surprising, but not that surprising. So what are you talking about? They always bring a black person to talk this nonsense. Let's play this. I'm so sick and tired of everything today. Everybody in the football world is going to get smoked. Let's go.
This sort of theme seems to be coming up, and they're sort of highlighting this on social media and in wider aspects of society as well.
Well, Richard, Ian Wright also says we're going to be gaslit with explanations and justifications, but those deciding who goes on the back pages know what they're doing. So what were they doing, Richard?
To be fair, Ian Wright has been very vocal about racism in football. Ian Wright, obviously a Arsenal legend, England legend, all-round nice guy.
Who is he? I'm joking.
Ian Wright, right.
I know, I was going to say, Ian Wright.
That guy,
yeah.
Loved by everybody.
Yeah.
And he's been very vocal about it. And when basically there was going to be a Super League, basically, in short, they were going to have the best 4 Premiership teams, basically, that were going to compete against other top European teams.
Yeah.
It was like, this mini league of all the best, and so basically you just forget about all the other football teams that play, that compete. You know what I'm saying? At the top division, of their respective countries, and just make it. You know what I mean? Meet this criteria. And so the fans spoke up, and it was like, "What? This is bang out of order."
Yeah.
It was bang out of order.
That's not what football's about.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
That's not what. Sounds like conservatives taking over football.
CEOs were not. They had to make a U-turn because obviously the fans stood up and was like, "Nah, this is not on our watch."
Oh, it's crazy.
Right, and then Ian Wright was saying, "Oh, it's only a shame that people can't come together like that when it comes to racism."
Wicked.
So
brilliant. What a statement. Okay,
what I mean?
So I take back my. Oh.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Okay. Now that I know, I'm willing to take that back. Okay, go on. Shout out to Ian Wright.
Well, what the tabloid media often do, they can be subtle. They can be subtle and persuasive in, in the way they frame certain aspects of people in society. So, I've got no problem with the media, back page, front page, if they want to talk about an individual player, if they've done well, if they've not had a great game. That's just normal reporting. But we can see when it's been framed a certain way, whether it's targeting SAKA, whether it's targeting Kobe Mino. It's very pointed, whether it's in the past been Raheem Sterling after an England tournament. There was an article in a newspaper after we went out I think it was under Roy Hodgson, and it was talking about Raheem Sterling buying a sink or something for his mother. And these things here, they're not overtly racist, but they help form a negative idea, a negative.
Okay, Raheem Sterling has been really targeted by the media for a long time, and what that situation is talking about there was he bought his mum a house, like most professional footballers at that level earning that type of money.
Michael Owen bought his whole family a house in a cul-de-sac, and they all lived together.
Right.
So I didn't. So what's the problem with buying a house for your family?
So they made a whole thing about all this noise about how shiny the sink was. There's another picture of so when England.
What is that to kind of insinuate blingy sink?
So
what's going on? What is this? Okay, can I just...
There's a trope.
For the other viewers as well, so obviously you are semi-professional footballer.
And I still play at semi-pro level.
Yeah.
But definitely at the lower end. But I played at the higher end.
And you also have a definite interest in football.
Of course.
I mean, I was a little bit...
I've been subjected to racial abuse myself. When I was playing, it wasn't like, like the whole stand was, like ranting or anything like chatting shit about me. It was just one person. Sorry.
So you will have more of an opinion on this and know much more about it. For the viewers, I was a bit hesitant to come on today and talk about football because I feel like I don't have an opinion. But as this is going on, it seems like actually you're right. This is something that actually transcends football and the sports. It's actually just about equality, and also recognizing when someone actually puts in the work and doesn't. I've heard of Raheem Sterling. When I've watched the Euros or any kind of football and seen him, I think he's a good player. Correct me if I'm wrong. So why someone would bring up him buying his mum a house and making it a big deal, I have no idea. And why other players, when they buy their parents' houses, aren't put up in the same situation is also
Phil Foden.
Concerning. Right.
When he was coming up the ranks at Manchester City.
Yeah.
And Sterling has spoken about it publicly as well.
Right.
And he said that the media, some papers, fuel racism.
Okay.
And he's also been very vocal and at the forefront of anti-racism.
Okay, so let's carry on and see what they say.
Basically, it helps form a negative way of going and speaking about certain people, black players, in the press.
Do you believe that, Simon?
I don't know. It's a strange selection of pictures to be showing about a player that featured so little. I do remember Raheem Sterling being the face of victory, though, in the last European Championships because of his contribution on the field and how prevalent he was to England's performances. So I think it cuts both ways. I hate to see everything through the prism of through the lens of...
So what does he mean it cuts both ways?
Simon Jordan. So this guy here, yeah, I've been observing him for a long time. I've made a video about TalkSport, and obviously they're a media platform as well. Yeah. Also being part of the problem.
Yeah.
Specifically Simon Jordan.
Do you know how wild what he just said there? It cuts both ways. It's almost as if he's saying, but when he won, we put his face on. Yeah, but why are you putting his face on there?
This is nothing. This just check his rhetoric, because I know you don't know about
I have no idea.
Guy. So just listen to him carefully and listen to
That's why I picked up that, because I was like, what?
Yeah.
Race and colour, and some people prefer to do that. I think the editors of these newspapers would be. It would be interesting to see what their answer is as to why they decide to put SAKA. Is it because the expectations of him as such a talented player that they reflect badly on the side when the side doesn't perform so well? Or is it because, for this much overused and much abused expression of unconscious bias, every time someone says something, it's trotted out as a weapon? But I am slightly concerned in terms of why you would feature SAKA. Not because he's black, but because he played 25 minutes in that game.
Yes.
And why would you single him out? Because Harry Kane missed the sitter. Yeah. Why wouldn't we be saying Harry Kane was disappointing in that performance? And I don't like one of the headlines.
No, this guy is very scary. Do you know what? He's just said some wild things. He's basically given a poo sandwich just there. Like, he said something really quite... He said a lot of things in like a couple of moments. Like, he was saying, so why would you use SAKA? Why would you? Is it because we have expectations of him as a really talented player? So if that's the case,
both sides.
So if that's the case, so what are the rest of the England team getting paid for? If you only just think that Saka's the best player, he might as well just be on the league in himself. But then on top of that, to say that this overused word unconscious bias, what is going on?
So. This is. I'm so glad you're listening to this guy for the first time.
Yeah.
Because when Vinicius Junior, I was calling him his football nickname. You know, the Real Madrid star, the Brazilian star as well. You know, one of the best players in the world. He's been that for a number of years now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he recently got interviewed after the England friendly.
Yeah.
And they brought up racism to him, and he started crying about it. And he's considering early retirement because of the abuse that he's been getting throughout his career because of the colour of his skin.
Com a cabeça centrada no jogo para que eu possa fazer o melhor para minha equipe, e às vezes nem sempre é possível. Então eu tenho que me concentrar muito todos os dias. Desculpa, é que eu só queria jogar futebol, só quero fazer de tudo pelo meu clube e pela minha família.
Can you imagine?
You know, great player. You've seen him play now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so they had Troy Deeney on, you know, mixed race guy, professional footballer.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, you know, like he can't change the colour of his skin and all this kind of stuff. What a player and all this kind of stuff, you know. But so the point was, the presenter done a good job of doing was bringing up, okay, points deduction, because it's clear, everybody knows the football institutions, FA, FIFA, it's all just virtual signaling. They don't really, care about racism like that. Yeah. There's so much more pragmatic solutions that they can come up with. Yeah. You know, point seduction is one. So, and Simon Jordan has, again, done what he's doing here, playing both sides, and he basically debunked that there is systematic racism.
There's nothing worse. There's not many people can understand this, where there's nothing he can do about it, and he's being made to feel less than just because of the colour of his skin. There's nothing he can physically do about that. That's just how he was born and the colour of his skin. I think it's a really difficult one to try and tackle this. So when you talk about points deductions, you're talking about it's always the smaller minority of the group. And I don't want to ever try and act like I'm on one side of the fence, or I'm quite a realist. I look at it. Whenever there's an incident, and we can talk to the Chelsea situation, there was a group of people. It's not the whole stadium. It's not every single person associated with Chelsea. I think, and me and Simon and Simon's podcast had a good debate about this. I don't think there's ever a proper set of rules or punishments in place that we go, that is the minimum of when it comes to racism, in my opinion. So I would like to see some real harsher treatments on those individuals. But I certainly think where we're at the minute, if you start looking at points deductions, then that's you have to look at it holistically, and Simon can talk about this better than me. But from a club perspective, if he starts losing points and then they get relegated, then it's not actually the owners who ever get done, or these people. It's the cleaners who get laid off, and it's all these different type of people. So I think we have to be really careful. And so you can talk to a bit better than me, but I just be careful.
Well, it's just the point that Sanjay made, was that points are being taken for financial fair play. Financial fair play breaches are a choice. So if you decide that you're going to spend more money than you should do, you know you're doing it. But no one's tolerating racism inside stadiums. No one's suggesting that the club owners want to have racists in their stadiums. In fact, they want the polar opposite. So it becomes about what you're going to do to these people. Get after the people that do it. Stop calling everything institutional racist and start getting after the people that actually do it.
Yeah, he said something like, "Oh yeah, no, if people want to say systematic racism, that's all a load of bollocks."
So should we just call it racism?
So this is Simon Jordan for you. So yeah, let's play the rest of it.
Lines from the start. Yeah, certainly don't like that. The black ice. I don't know what that is leaning towards, and it may be leaning into the point that Rich is making. But if these editors are leaning,
so maybe there's a clear racist. Yeah.
If you don't know, I think I saw what is it, the Sun? They pulled up. There's something on the newspaper. We'll put a clip. No, yeah, the front page. Yeah, it said black ice. Yeah. This is literally not even a joke. This is real life in 2024 June. Yeah. We're nearly 2024.
We're gonna put it up on the screen for everybody.
Yeah. So
leaning towards manipulating our most talented players, which most of the time is our black players, then we need to address.
There we go. Virtual signaling.org.
Yeah.
Well, I think certain people are exaggerating about racism, but however, usually our best players are normally black.
Yeah, I know. Wild. Can you imagine? So it's like, what are you saying? What do you want to say? Let's hear it.
We need to address it.
Richard, I'm looking at, as Simon was talking there, I'm looking at a text. Listen, if England go out, it won't be a picture of Harry Kane. It will unfortunately fall at the feet of a black player. Is that true? Will it?
I hope not. I hope we go through all the way and end up winning, and we can all rejoice. And
who's that guy?
We can have a picture of SAKA and Wharton and Kane and everything. But like what Simon said before, the using of SAKA is surprising, and if this was an anomaly, we wouldn't be having this discussion now. But it's happened far too often, and I know social media isn't a barometer for all of society. But if and maybe I'm showing my bias here because I'm an Arsenal fan, so I'm overly protective of whether it's SAKA or any Arsenal players. But we'll talk about the fans. They might say, "Oh, SAKA missed a penalty in the Euros." This, that, the other. Harry Kane missed a penalty in the last World Cup, and that doesn't get brought up at all. And it doesn't get brought up on social media is its own little echo chamber, but that doesn't get brought up. Whereas it does happen with regards to black players, and it's happened in the past as well. Whether it was John Barnes when I was younger, or this, that, the other.
Has there been any feedback from the press regarding these consistency in these pictures and some of the headlines? Has there been any feedback yet? Do we know?
Oh, I mean, Simon asked the question there. Why are the editors, or maybe picture editors, choosing certain pictures? And it's a good point, and we will ask these various publications.
He's just doing his job as a presenter.
No, of course. That's why I'm listening. I'm just listening to everything. I've got so many things to say. I just want to hear how they actually, how this dialogue, there seems to be, one thing I've noticed is there's no outrage. There's no outrage at even someone repeating the headline.
Why are you surprised at that though?
No, because, well, this is my first time actually watching anything football related. And I'm surprised because actually, for an industry such as football, every time I look at a football pitch, there is a 100%, at least 30 to 40% of the team are all black. So I'm surprised that there's no outrage, that when this is a clear issue, no one seems to be bothered. They're having a very laissez-faire conversation about this young boy, SAKA, being held responsible for Iceland kicking England's backside on a friendly. We haven't even reached like quarterfinals, for the love of God.
You're seeing representation of black people on the football pitch.
Yeah.
But does that mean black people are in positions of power?
No, well, evidently not. But also
high positions in football,
yeah.
Where the decisions
are being made.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
Yeah. That's a very good point.
Applications, how they maybe decided on the image of SAKA. Lewis Hamilton, Richard, takes it further. We need to hold the English media accountable for systematically vilifying black players. The constant scapegoating of young black players needs to stop. Is that too strong, Richard? Do you disagree with Hamilton there?
I think we can hold the media accountable for a number of things, whether it is black players, whether it is people from LGBTQ community, whatever. We can hold people accountable. Whenever there is injustice, we should hold people accountable. If there is targeted cases like this, targeting black young players, then we need to hold them accountable. So, I would agree.
But again, I'm very uncomfortable with everything being seen through the lens of colour. I mean, there may be a reason why SAKA was chosen for that article, and it may be nothing to do with being black. Like this constant argument that lack of representation means racism. It doesn't. It might mean a whole raft of other things.
Yeah.
And so we need to have...
Okay, so if that's the case, then where was Foden's picture? Because can I tell you something? I did watch that game, everyone, and he's supposed to be a little star boy, and all he ever does is huff and puff when he can't get the goal in the back of the net. So it's just like, I want other pictures, other people... They're a team.
The ball in the back of the net. It's fine.
What did I say?
The goal in the back of the net.
The goal in the back. The ball in the back of the net.
Cool.
Sorry.
I know you're not a footballer.
Yeah, I'm not. But it has to be fair representation. There's a team. They're a team of them. They're a team. They need to fairly explain and show what's actually happening, and not just. This shows you actually that the media weave the stories. They're the ones that actually create what they want to they are the ones that create the narrative. It's not, they don't actually tell you facts. The media actually narrates a story that they want for that season, basically.
It's one thing what we feel about something, and there's too many times you have to listen to people telling what they feel about something rather than what really is happening in society. And I do remember Harry Kane coming for quite a significant amount of commentary, but a lot of it negative after he missed the penalty against France.
Not quite the same way, but I know.
No, but the social media and
that's important. Not in the same way. That's important because you're gonna see what's about to unfold here. It's great to see Danny Murphy, ex Liverpool player as well, ex footballer, who's now a pundit, interjecting like that and saying, hold on, because Simon Jordan doesn't seem to really think there's much of a problem.
No, because he's a white man.
Yeah, and he's never played a sport. He's been like a chairman.
Of course he has. Brilliant, fantastic.
No, he hasn't. But he's been a chairman of a big,
That's what I'm saying. These are the ones that always have the most to say, but they've never actually run up and down the pitch for 90 minutes. Get on there and play, and then hear people screaming and calling you monkeys and throwing bananas on the pitch whilst you're supposed to be playing and leading your country to the end, like to the World Cup final.
Yeah.
You've got all of that pressure on you, and you've never played, but you've somehow happened to be a chairman.
Right. Gary Neville as well, former Man United legend, arguably.
Yeah.
He was talking about Ashley Cole getting racially abused against Spain. The way he was talking about it, Simon Jordan actually called him out for this. It was like, it was horrible, the abuse that Ashley was getting, you know, and all that. But it's like, what was he doing about it? You're talking about it like it's...
Like you're watching a movie.
I was there, you know, it's, do you know what I mean? I was there and I witnessed it. It was so terrible. So what did you do, Gary Neville?
Nothing. Nothing.
Do you know what I mean?
Nothing.
So at least, Simon Jordan called him out on that, you know.
Mainstream media are two different animals. Social media is a cesspit that needs to be regulated better and controlled and anonymity taken away, whereas the mainstream media, where this is ultimately...
Of course, you'd want anonymity taken away from social media, because that's basically saying you want the truth to be taken away from social media, because the reason why people are able to speak their truth is because they have anonymity, because people are actually aware that if they are recognized or you can be held responsible for your opinions. This is basically what he just said there is like, oh yeah, we don't have freedom of speech. Basically, you're not allowed to actually voice your opinion when something goes wrong. So actually, wow, what the heck?
Landing has a greater degree of accountability, and we can't just turn around and say, because it's a black player being featured, that it was primarily about race. We have to ask the question, evaluate the answer, and then move forward from that basis.
Well, I'm a middle-aged white man who looks at things maybe a bit naively at times. Even I was a little bit, when I actually saw it, and it was brought up, I think Righty brought it up, and then I looked at the image, and it was like 5, 6 different... made me feel uncomfortable. I'm thinking, why there's...
That is a human response.
Yeah, to another human being subjected
irrespective
to
of your colour, your religion, creed.
Yeah. You don't have to say that you side with it. You don't have to say that you're now all for black people, but you can say, it made me uncomfortable, which shows you that you recognise that something weird is going on, or something wrong is happening.
So it's a bit ironic that it's not coming from an older white man.
No, of course, because he doesn't. That's not his agenda. His agenda is not about that. It's about the money.
It's not. Sometimes you can disregard things as somebody being, you know, like overly sensitive.
I agree with you, Danny. I mean, Saka wasn't on the pitch when Iceland scored.
No, but this is. There's more. There's something not right there.
He wasn't even on the pitch when they scored.
Exactly.
Oh God! Oh, why is he featured so much then? Where were all the defenders when he was on when Iceland scored? Where I can't remember how that.
So they're using images of like Mainu and Saka. There's an odd
this
one
is wild.
of Trent Arnold. You know what I'm saying? It was like, he's basically like, really, like, are you actually going to be playing these guys? Something to that effect, you know. You should say, even you brown brothers can get it.
Oh gosh.
There's more. There's something there that I don't like. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
I'd agree with Danny as well. It's like what I said at the very start. I have no problem with if somebody's had a bad game and you highlight this, or you want to discuss the merit. If what it needs to do is be judged on merit. You know, whether a headline is it warranted to have this person on there, or what have you. So exactly. We can't like what Simon Jordan's saying there. We can't just say, oh well, this black player is being discussed, therefore it must be a race angle. Definitely not. But coming from Danny's angle, it's in your face. We can't ignore this. And like I said, if this was an anomaly, or just it had to be a coincidence.
Simon Jordan said it's not always about racism.
Exactly.
Well, or even if one picture was Saka, one was Kane, one was Rice, one was Bellingham, one was whoever, you know.
An even spread.
Yeah.
Richard, of Show Racism, the red card, thank you very much indeed.
We've got to show him the red card now. Are we showing Richard the red card?
Literally. I think Richard needs to be taken off the pitch. Look, it's a shame. It speaks volume. These young, what you have to also understand, I mean, we speak about it a lot about on Fly on the Wall, you know. We talk about the polarization and the just wrong things that are happening to black people across the world throughout time in history, right? And it's just like, when is it actually going to stop? In this situation, when you've got footballers who are playing, Well, this is what I'm starting to realize, is that sadly this is going to be a thing for a while, because what you have to understand is, and I was thinking that when Simon, the guy, was speaking,
that Simon Jordan,
when you started talking about that Super League, and I do remember very briefly, just on Instagram or something.
He didn't bring it up. I made reference to that.
I know when you did. I know. I'm just saying,
okay.
when you did it before. But I remember ages ago seeing something on the internet about it coming, and everyone was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And what that made me realize is that actually, if that Super League had gone on, it would have been like you also referenced before, like football being this gladiator stadium, right? And that would have been just like the most entertaining athletes at such a high level competing. But also what would have happened is it would have been just full with a lot of black players. Like, let's just call a spade what it is. Let's call it what it is, you know? We have to actually just stop pretending like black people don't exist, that they don't lead in a lot of or at forefront of a lot of things that are popular.
Arts, literature, academia,
music, film, like you know.
to a lot of coons.
Yeah. Of course, but even in their coonness, they're still like, you know.
Saying black faces.
Yeah, they're not. You know, even in their behavior of not being about it, they're still actually.
Yeah.
They're still the same color as me.
Prospering.
You know, they're still the same color as me. And even if their actions aren't literally for the people, their face is still showing.
It wasn't like this 50 years ago.
Exactly. So keep on putting them there, whatever way they come. I don't mind. But what I'm what I'm just disappointed with is that this is still a recurring theme. And also, what people don't realize is that this is like bullying on a major scale. This is like people paying the ticket, these fans going there, paying season tickets, spending their money so that they can go and hurl abuse at someone.
But but the thing is, it's not, that does happen, but it's not it doesn't happen in like every sort of England match. You know, that, you know, black players are getting racially abused, they're getting bananas thrown at them. It's not that. There's two factors in this. There's the social media element to it.
Yeah.
Which propagate a lot of bigotry. Obviously nowadays it's become a source where, you know, you can get independent information and from independent sources and whatnot. But there's still a lot of like racist trolls online. You know, a lot of race bots. Racist bots. It's really a thing.
Yeah, because also the racist bots are there.
Right. Exactly.
You have to understand that.
So it comes down to legislation now. What's the government doing about this is the other thing. You know, footballers have called out social media companies, because they are companies, you know, and they should do more about racial abuse online and just abuse online. Period.
Exactly. Exactly.
They're going on that they haven't got the ability to do it.
No.
So what does that tell me as a thinking person?
Yeah.
You want this to happen?
No, of course. Because the agenda is bigger than that.
Yeah. Why are we beating around the bush here?
Yeah.
But a lot of people, certain people, don't want to accept that.
Yeah. That this is what they want to happen.
Exactly.
Like Simon, what's his face?
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, someone's anecdotal experience.
Yeah. It's not life. Yeah, it's not real. And here we have the
What
same.
does that tell you about someone like that? Anyone who's denying like facts.
Exactly.
You're ignorant, innit? You can be bigoted.
Not even.
You're one of these things.
Yeah. Okay, you're ignorant to do the list. Yeah, ignorant.
Bigoted.
Yeah. Delusional.
Do you know what I'm saying? Arrogant.
Yeah.
Or racist.
Yeah, or psycho. Yeah, or racist. One of those.
Do you know what I mean? If anyone that decides to deny factual information.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
One of those. And also, do you know?
And there's empirical research that's done on this as well. So this is how you know Simon Jordan. You're on fucking Talk Sport, such a big platform, and a lot of people listen to him. A lot of people listen to the platform. So, like, what sort of rhetoric, you know, is he pushing out there?
And what you have to also understand is that there's another element to this as well, which is that there's a societal point of view, right? And if the media, as I was saying before, that the media are the ones that create the story, they're the ones that dictate what the narrative is going to be. And what you have, you know, you've mentioned to me many a time before that, you know, football is a working class sport, which I agree. And it's incredible to see so many lives and people who can come up and fight their way through, you know, and through merit, like the guy from Red Card
Oh, Richard.
Richard, yeah. Like he was saying, if you can, and he was saying that people should be measured on their merit. Sport is one of those things that you cannot deny when someone has won. You can't deny that they're the best. You can't deny that they're skilled. Physically, you cannot. They will show you. They will prove it time and time again.
Yeah.
And in working their way up, that's such a triumph, right? But what also comes from the working class is a lot of ignorance, because there's lack of funds, there's poverty. There's a lack of access to education, information, also experiences and knowledge, right? And that can then
form a certain opinion.
Exactly. And then if that's being reaffirmed with these newspapers, and you have to understand, these newspapers, those photos, you don't see them in the Telegraph, actually we saw one wild one in the Telegraph. It started to go into the to the liberal sheets, but generally they're on the working class pages, which is News of the World, The Sun, Daily Mail, all of those news outlets which target people who don't actually tabloids that don't go and research for themselves or have an informed opinion. They will take that information because it's printed in the newspaper. What you have to understand, the news is something that the news is factual. That's what we thought. That's what I think. But it seems like the media team sit there and they're like, right, guys, so what's the story we're going to create today?
At university, a few years ago, I'd done my dissertation on racism in English football. Mm-hmm. And you do literature reviews when you do a dissertation. Mm-hmm. So for people that don't know that, it's things that credible people, writers and scholars have written about a specific subject.
Yeah.
So I found out it's a lot of it actually new, but it's great to actually see it in academia.
Yeah.
And people who've actually done research on this.
Yeah.
And written articles about it.
Yeah.
So there's one that I want to read out.
Okay.
And
love this story time.
It is reasonable to assert that the media cannot pretend to a noble record of sincerely representing the British population, racial diversity. Newsrooms have traditionally been operated by white, middle-class journalists who often come from an elite universities. The situation is potentially problematic because if journalists largely originate for one section of society, they may carry a specific worldview and therefore tend to reflect their own intrinsic values and beliefs without a deep understanding of the various groups comprising British society. It remains easy to slip into the trap of stereotyping communities. So, yeah, I can go on and on, but it's good to be able to actually reference people. I think people forget this, that there are individuals out there who, research this stuff and talk about it and write about this stuff, for a living on a professional level.
Job, yeah.
So this is people that conduct empirical research, and then you have Simon Jordan, who is like a figurehead now in football, dismissing that systematic racism exists. This is the problem.
In his industry, which we all know is so prevalent in.
I'm not even saying he's racist. He said Rudiger was greedy for leaving Chelsea for Real Madrid.
What, Rudiger's people?
Yeah, 200 grand a week, right? Which, by the way, is outrageous amounts of money.
No, he's worthy of that compared to other centre halves getting more than that.
Well, who? Who's getting more than that? So
Diaz.
Well, they're better players.
I know, but I'm saying he's been as consistent.
He wants a £10 million sign-on. Are you reading this? He wants his ghastly, wretched agent wants 10 million quid.
But that's why
this is madness.
But that's just great. But
greed. It's absolute greed. He's going to Real Madrid because he's greedy.
Yeah.
End of discussion.
But that's why.
Good riddance.
That's why you get.
And language matters. This is what the media use. To make people think a certain way, So when you use words like, Raheem Sterling's media representative come on Sky Sport News to talk about this. And he was like, when you use words that bling, you know, to describe a black player, you know, greedy to describe, and you're always talking about the salary of black players.
Because we don't want to talk about how much Ronaldo's on.
Right.
We're not talking about how much these people are getting bought and sold for.
Those are racist tropes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That are propagated intentionally by the media. So I'm tired of this. All these Simon Jordan, Richard Offiong, you know, Danny Murphy. Like, shout out to him. Like, you know, but everyone's making it like this thing's rocket science.
Yeah, or it doesn't exist.
Do you know what I mean?
Everyone, it's not happening. It is happening. It is happening. And don't get it to the point where all these players just stand still on the pitch.
Nah, they won't do that. That's another story.
Because they love the game so much, and they shouldn't have to. It's not their job to have to do something that reckless that can affect their personal career. It should be the people who are the managers of the club. People who are responsible for the club.
Powerful institutions that keep on reporting about certain people in a certain way continuously. That means there's a problem.
Do you think this could change?
No, it's not, because black people are an ethnic minority in this country. The majority are white English people. I'm not saying all white English people are racist. Obviously, I've got loads of white friends. So do you. You know, we see white people and talk to white people every day. Yeah. That's not the thing. It's the people at the top. It's the white people at the top
making decisions,
who occupy all the powerful roles.
Yeah.
And
I think they're quite I think they genuinely. I think they've lied to themselves. I think they genuinely have to lie to themselves to carry on doing the things that they do.
They're becoming news anchors. They're part of this is what I'm saying. They're part of the problem.
Yeah. Because I remember even at a previous job that I worked in before, this horrific person who used to run this tech company that I no longer work for, once asked me, Sharon, do you think I have white privilege? I want to be like, you're definitely a middle class, middle-aged white man. Yeah, you do. But how dare you ask me to have to? It's like, it's such a crazy question to even ask, which insinuates or like implies that you doubt it.
But there are white people who don't believe that they have white privilege.
It's crazy.
That's also a thing. You have to also understand.
But
then
they're not well. They're not well.
I don't think it's not about that. It's about having uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
I've had these conversations with people in a pub, you know, watching football, you know, not in a middle-aged man, much older white man.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you have these conversations and I'll talk about my dissertation and talk about literature reviews, and they start to understand.
Yeah.
Guess what? You've planted a seed in their brain now.
At least you've done something for one person.
Do you understand?
It's like that guy, Richard, he should have said, when he's like, do you think it's outrageous? He said, yeah. He should have just said yes. We need our people now to start being yes,
stop pandering.
No, this is wrong. I don't agree. Like, be straight up. Just give one-word answers.
Right.
Don't be like, I need to discuss it.
Because I'm sorry, people like Simon Jordan and the presenter and Danny Murphy, he wasn't even playing along with that. He was just like, what the hell, this is awful.
Yeah.
Three of those white men should be all collectively condemning it.
Yeah.
Not the
that's what I say.
What do you think, Simon Jordan?
No,
do you think this is racist?
But that's what I was saying.
Then he's doing his job. But again, I'm alluding to this because that is part of the problem, when they should all be condemning it for what it is.
But that's what I was saying when I said that this conversation is strange, that no one is even outraged by it. Do you see? Look how passionately you're speaking about it. I didn't get even the guy from Red Card, whatever. He didn't even have any of that same energy that you're giving to me right now.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you see what I'm saying?
So that shows. Money.
Well, I think you see back to BLM,
virtual
all of it.
Signaling Olympics.
Yeah.
Kumbaya. That's what that is, isn't it?
Virtual signaling Olympics.
No? So
basically, yeah.
Yeah. But if you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know, some of these black players who, some of them have opted to play for their country of origin.
Yeah.
You know, but say if Maynard decided, you know what, he's played really well for Manchester United. He's like, you know what, I don't want to play for England. I want to play for Ghana. Don't make a story about that.
Of course they would. Yeah.
You don't love your country.
Yeah. We should talk to Chelsea about even Arsenal about you even coming back and play. No, you need to actually now.
Man United.
Man United. Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about SAKA still.
No,
you're talking about who did you say?
Mainu.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So sorry, everyone. This is brilliant. This is. Hi, it's my first time talking about this on radio. Yeah, you know, this I think we should have another conversation about this.
Yeah, no, we will do. Yeah, we'll
because now we're having the Euros.
Yeah.
Should we do a little like Euro check-in? You know, every time, like when England has a interesting game, and actually not even it always being, you know, let's have a little check-in. I think.
And I think I believe there's definitely an obligation on, you know, the white people who are not racist, who see injustice, to call it out, especially if you do have a platform. Silence is violence.
Exactly. It's actually, you're complicit when you say nothing. Do you know what I just want to say? You just made a really good point a moment ago, just before we close. I used to work for quite a well-known. I used to work at Facebook, basically, just for a brief time. And they had an event once, and it was like a sporting event. And actually, it's just come to mind now. And they had all of these. I saw the guest list. Yeah, right, everyone. I saw the guest list. They had all of these people who were in like the Premier League, like Liverpool, West Ham, Man U. They had this like conference or something. They were trying to work with the people involved behind the scenes and the media, like the team, people who are using social media. And they invited them down to say, come down and we'll show you how to use social media to like advance your clubs or your whatever you're doing for your companies.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking about it. I think the guest list was about 28, 29. It happened recently. So, and there weren't any. I think there was 2 black people that came in.
Yeah, there you go.
So what you said before is actually there's proof. There are not people who look like us in the places that matter, where the decisions are made, and that's actually becoming an issue.
Maybe disproportionately unrepresented.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, we've got to remember it's a white majority.
Yeah.
You know, but like you stated earlier, you know, every time you watch football, you know, you see how many black and brown faces.
It's like the music industry. The music industry is filled with so many brown faces. When you get into that record label like I've been in, you'll have 50 people working for a company and there'll be 8 black people across the UK and the United States working for a company. So trust me, this is not just.
There you go.
This is not just in the football industry, in the sports industry. Please
don't be saying this is victim mentality.
No,
I'm tired of that one as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. We need more of our subscribers.
Yeah.
Commenting. YouTube are trying to prevent us from putting paid ads in certain videos now. So yeah, we really need everybody that's watching to be liking, sharing, commenting. Let us know
in the comments below. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, share, and subscribe, guys.
Let us know if you believe that systematic racism exists.
Exactly. Peace.
Over and out.